in this room. We're going to do empowering engineers to take action. And the first one is going to be Anodot's Jeff Haynes.
All right. So at Anodot, we believe that FinOps accelerates the value you get from the cloud by shifting the culture of your organization from one of traditional silos to one that's collaborative. What makes Anodot different from other solutions is that we're 100% focused on helping you to enable this cultural shift to FinOps. We empower all FinOps stakeholders with clarity and highly personalized insights. We have the wide and deep visibility and allocation capabilities you'll hear about from the other leading vendors, as well as recommendations for commitment and VM and Kubernetes capacity management. But our focus is not cost observability, nor resource optimization, nor discounting. It's helping the right people on your team to know the right things at the right time. For engineering and DevOps, it's all about delivering the right insights to enable them to operate efficiently and deliver the highest service quality. We actually take slight issue with the phrasing getting engineers to take action because it seems to imply that the challenge of actioning cost optimizations lies solely within DevOps. If you want to get engineering to accept optimization recommendations, you first need to enable continuous empathy, understanding, and communication between finance, DevOps, and the business. One of our customers, Aqua Security, tells us that Anodot brings their financial and technical people together and that it creates a single language for them to use to communicate. Now, those previously siloed departments talk about what they're wasting and what they can save and how they can better leverage Anodot's insights to eliminate waste. The abilities of the Anodot platform align directly with the FinOps framework phases, and I've highlighted some of our capabilities that closely relate to operationalizing cost savings. For Inform, which we call Visualize, every DevOps stakeholder is able to understand the totality of how their development and infrastructure choices impact costs and how these costs impact the business through granular, persona-driven reports, dashboards, and alerts. They get holistic unit and application cost visibility across AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and Kubernetes. One medium-sized security company that uses Anodot has over 120 FinOps stakeholders across engineering, DevOps, finance, and the business, and cloud financial management titles regularly logging in and leveraging our insights. And we see similar breadth of usage across all of our customers. For the optimize phase, we continuously and automatically surface and track the implementation of over 60 types of tunable cost-saving recommendations so engineering can refine and optimize their utilization of cloud services. And each recommendation includes CLI and console instructions for easy actioning, as well as full justification for how we generated the recommendation. We find a very high rate of implementation of our recommendations across our entire customer base, and this meaningful realization of savings helps contribute to our over 95% customer retention rate. For Operate, which we call Monitor, we enable you to achieve highly sophisticated and predictable cloud operations where you can look ahead with a great deal of accuracy and are never surprised by the cloud bill. Our machine learning-driven cost forecasting delivers an astounding 98.5% median accuracy at next month granularity, and our low-noise, near real-time anomaly detection ensures that engineering trusts the alerts they receive from Anodot, and they resolve cost spikes before they impact the business. If you want to achieve successful FinOps culture at your organization that's truly about continuous collaboration and improvement, you should take a look at Anodot. Because we're focused solely on FinOps and aren't a bulky cloud management platform, we're priced affordably. To learn more, you can reach out to me, Jeff Haynes, on the FinOps Foundation Slack, and you can find out more at anodot.com/cloud. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, for saving a few seconds there at the end. Next up, we have Ilya from Cloudthread.
Hi, everyone. It's Ilya from Cloudthread, and you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so we are Cloudthread. We are building a set of tools focused on cloud cost efficiency with unit economics and engineering engagement being at the core of our solutions. So the problem that we are solving is around engineers being not effectively exposed to good data on the real business value of their decisions. Thus, they're not engaged into FinOps action, or the action is not supported by the leadership. Next slide, please. Well, as a result, value of cloud is not clear, cloud spend is wasted, many good value-generating decisions are not made. Next slide. The solution is to get relevant cloud cost efficiency insights to the engineering teams and also switch the focus from absolute cost tracking to value tracking on the business side. Sounds simple, but as many of you know, it's not as easy to implement. Next slide, please. So Cloudthread accomplishes this by deploying unit economics framework and integrating it into a traditional cloud cost management toolset with a particular focus on delivering the efficiency insights to engineering side. So why is this important? Unit economics help to switch focus from absolute numbers to efficiency tracking, which gives real value perspective and helps with making the trade-offs clear. This is often a missing part in a good cloud cost management strategy. Next slide, please. So here is high level how Cloudthread works. We take the billing data from AWS and starting from last month from GCP, big launch for us, and apply our deep FinOps expertise to extract the most from it. Then we ingest and clean the data from other sources. APM platforms, logging solutions, case monitoring. From there, we get certain like technical units like requests, queries, so on. We also get the data from data warehouses for business side, right? Business units, customers, orders, or relevant financial data like revenue. And we have a robust API to ingest, in fact, any useful data from the customers. And we are working with our customers to enable like native integration all the time. Then we provide a convenient interface to construct unit metrics based on that data, track and report them in the way that engages engineers. And we work with our customers to help them define what unit metrics matter for them. So we pre-calculate metrics for them, and basically consult them on what makes sense. And this all comes packaged with traditional cloud cost management capabilities like tracking absolute costs, right sizing recommendations, forecasting, flexible visualizations, and so on. And we also have a solution for enabling a good tagging strategy, which is foundation for everything, as you all know. Well, next slide, please. As we don't have a live demo this time, this is a quick glance on how our unit metrics interface looks like. We call it Unit Metrics Lab. Here you can construct unit metrics in a very nice visual form, right? You have an ability to adjust numerator, denominator, apply all the filters, choose data sources, and so on. Next slide, please. And we have Unit Metrics Library where you can see all the saved metrics. You can compare, benchmark them, report them. This way it is like really, really accessible and actionable for your engineering teams. Thank you.
Thank you, Ilya. Eric, over to you.
All right, let's get started. So I'm Eric Peterson, I'm the CTO and co-founder of CloudZero, and I'm going to walk you through some cool stuff. Let's go for the next slide. All right, so we all understand this one simple fact. Every engineering decision is a buying decision in this world, right? And I asked everyone when we were out at reInvent if you could all wander around imagining every engineer walking around with a price tag above their head. What was their total lifetime spend in AWS? Well, it might be a little terrifying, right? So the big question is, since all of us engineers who are probably in the most powerful position that we've ever been in our lives, how can we make better decisions? And that's one of the goals that CloudZero set out to solve with our platform. So the first step is to ensure that engineers have relevant cost visibility, right? And then get out of their way. We want to break out these costs by products, features, services, transactions, things that are very relevant to what the engineers themselves are working on a daily basis. It doesn't make any sense to tell each feature team about everything that's going on inside of the organization, but rather have the right information at the right time focused on just the teams that need it. In particular, we want to get anomalies delivered directly to those teams, exact feature spend delivered directly to those teams, and more. Next slide, please. And this means that we target this anomaly detection so that the engineers responding know that this information is specific to them and the code that they've just written. And in fact, one of the key things that CloudZero does here is use Slack and email and other chat platforms as a way of getting that information directly to them the moment we know about it. And those links that we provide them are easily shared and linkable, and a conversation almost always breaks out around these ideas. A lot of our customers let us know that they do victory laps around the announcements that we make to them because they turn $100 mistakes into learning opportunities that would have easily become $10,000 career opportunities, right? Next slide. This is an example of our platform showing how we bring context into this conversation. And there's a couple of things that I want to draw your attention to here. There's context, not just in terms of the resources that we're identifying, but also the actions that happen in the environment. GitHub check-ins, identifying the changes that actually resulted in the cost spiking, the anomalies that we're sending via Slack, and then GitHub check-ins after the fact, helping the engineers or the rest of the team understand that the issue is under control. Bringing all that data together is really important. Otherwise, you're just looking at a chart and you really don't understand how the actions that we're taking as engineers are affecting the bigger picture. Next slide, please, JR. We also break through the tagging barrier. How many times have we heard that tagging is critical to everything? Well, CloudZero built a language called cost formation that allows us to completely eliminate the necessity of having perfect tags. You can organize your spend in cost formation, and that allows you to instantly reorganize all the spend by products, features, teams, etc. within the product. This allows us to create dynamic views for both business, FinOps, and engineers, and takes only seconds to apply this to our system. This is the industry's only code-driven cost allocation language, and it also allows us to get at shared cost allocation better than anyone, in particular around unit economics challenges. JR, next slide. And we make this very simple. Even the most complicated organizations where they have a lot of complicated rules about how costs and shared costs allocate, we can take those simple challenges, visualize them, and help the entire team understand that. Next slide, JR. And this is just one way we bring telemetry together with other products and features. Last slide. So I look forward to talking to everyone. Find me on Slack. Awesome. Have a great day.
Thank you, Eric. Chuck at Densify. Ready to go, Chuck?
I'm here. Thank you. Nice to be here. JR, I'm going to give you you jumped right ahead. Densify is a pure play cloud and container resource optimization engine. Our goal is to use our analytics to match the requirements of an application to the right type and quantity of resource to a level of precision that you can actually embed it in your stack. Our experience across hundreds of organizations, and this is not a dig at engineering. Engineering is just doing what they're required to do, and that's build stuff fast and reliably and deliver for the business. But resource selection specifications are usually wrong. The result is, in most cases, either waste or risk. With container environments, we're seeing commonly both. And the scale and division of most large enterprises makes this very difficult to fix. Next slide, please. The division we like to point out is between what you pay and what you pay for. And the bottom of this iceberg is actually probably a lot bigger. I apologize for the slide jumble here. I'm not sure what happened when our slides were brought in. But the resource and infrastructure optimization part, the quantity, is often very difficult to solve because it's managed by a different part of the organization. Next slide, please. If you look at the FinOps discipline and all the great work you guys are doing in driving responsibility around finance and the speed with which new things are introduced into every environment, we find a fundamental gap from the perspective of optimization, both container and cloud, and actual automation of these changes, the ability to put it into the stack. A lot of mistrust with respect to the types of recommendations that engineering is often asked to do in the pursuit of savings. If you do give me another click, JR. The domain of the app owner, the engineering around resource instance optimization needs to be served by something that they will trust. And so click. This is where Densify fits. We replace human effort with precise analytics. We don't compete with the stuff at the top of the screen. We don't do those things. We deliver the engineer a level of precision that they can take action. Next slide, please. How do we do that? We learn the workload pattern deeply, which is very important, but also important, if not more important, is the ability to reflect the policies that describe what the business, the app, the business service sees as the guideposts for making decisions. We take both of those elements, we analyze them against all of the CSP available capabilities to derive a very precise and engineer trusted level of answer and recommendation. And over time, our customers start to push that into their process automation ecosystem, ticketing, et cetera. We don't do those things. We are the answer engine that drives the recommendations that go into those systems to be applied. If we do this well, the bills go down. The performance improves, or the performance is maintained despite the fact that you're driving efficiency. One more click, please. We deliver as Densify. We also deliver along with Intel as something called Intel Cloud Optimizer for qualifying organizations that fit the model for ICO. Intel pays for full year usage of Densify purely for the opportunity to help organizations make good decisions in the cloud and make sure that apps perform on the right infrastructure platforms. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Done. Sorry about the slide a little bit there. And next up, we have Fairwinds. Joe, looks like you're ready. Take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for including Fairwinds today. My name's Joe. I'm a product manager over here. Fairwinds is a Kubernetes governance platform. So we focus entirely on Kubernetes and containers. And we really look at our mission as to helping platform engineering teams really build a culture of service ownership with the end goal of getting app teams to ship to the cloud faster, but with less risk and more cost effectiveness. And specifically with our platform, app teams will gain visibility into container costs, avoid over provisioning their workloads, and we even go into other areas like addressing security issues as well. Next slide. So let's really kind of talk about that platform engineer user, right? Like platform engineers are really spending a lot of their time enabling those app teams to be successful with Kubernetes, containers, and cloud. They focus on things like automation, standardization, consistency, and they really want to kind of roll out those best practices so that they can scale and support multiple app teams in a multi-tenant Kubernetes world. And for developers, we're also seeing that developers have a lot more influence over operations, by adopting things like containers, infrastructure as code. They can make a lot more decisions around how their workloads are running in Kube, and that ultimately does affect cost. But since developers are responsible for writing these great features, they have to learn the nuance of things like setting resource requests and limits in Kubernetes, and this is not a thing that they really want to focus or care most of their time about. So herein lies that challenge between platform and app teams. We really want to make sure that we can provide the tooling for teams to be able to set their correct resource usage, be able to understand their workload cost. And so we focus on kind of three problem areas as it relates to FinOps. It's really the allocation of Kubernetes costs, right sizing those resources, and then really enabling kind of consistent labeling in the process. Next slide. So let's focus on kind of this first use case of cost allocation. And really the main goal here is to bring visibility and self-service to those app teams. What we find is that most teams using Kubernetes aren't aware of the cost of their workloads. But engineers, like we were mentioning, are kind of increasingly responsible for configuring those apps, and resource allocation is the main driver that affects how much their workload may cost in Kube. And because multiple apps can run on a single instance type, it's difficult to kind of really peel back the onion and understand what are those, what is the cost of those individual apps. And so we really, help provide kind of showback capabilities through our platform so that folks can slice and dice the cost of their workloads through the various different labels, which we do enforce labeling best practices, following kind of the most recent FinOps container labeling dictionary. And we push that feedback into shift left scenarios as well, so we can help identify if there's missing labels or if resource requests and limits are missing, and really try to bring that visibility to developers in the tools that they use today. Next slide. The other use case I want to kind of cover is the whole aspect of container right sizing. And we know that cost is a key metric for teams to monitor and take ownership of, but it's also understanding what should they set those resource requests and limits to be. And through our research, we're finding that teams are consistently over provisioning by about 30%. And so with our software, we can monitor resource usage and provide those recommendations to set CPU and memory, ultimately helping organizations save and have more efficient bin packing. And I know my time's up, so I'll pause there and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Now we got Hassan at Infracost. Ready, Hassan? Oh, we can't hear you. 1 second. Are you unmuted? Let's see here real quick.
Unmute. How's
There
that?
we go. Go
Sorry.
for it.
Hey everyone, I'm Hassan. I'm one of the founders of Infracost. And since everyone's in the engineering action group, I think we all know this problem, right? The people who buy the infrastructure are never shown the costs before the resource is launched, right? It's always after the fact. So by definition, we have to do a bunch of rework. Like the cost has to happen, and then we have to kind of rework this stuff. So that's what we're addressing. We're making the checkout screen for infrastructure. So this is a screenshot of the tool. So Infracost sits in the CI/CD system. So here is GitHub. And every time someone makes a change to the infrastructure, Infracost leaves a comment like this one right here. So it says, and what we're basically looking at is saying, hey, this new load balancer and storage is going to increase our cost by $1,142, right? And this is all before the resources have been provisioned. And then you've got the detailed breakdown of everything that's actually happening. So that's the checkout screen. Engineers now are aware, hey, if I ship this, that's going to spend this much money, and I can take action right now. I get asked 2 questions on the screen usually, so I'll answer those. Yes, it supports the EDP discounts, EA discounts. And then for usage-based resources like S3, Lambda, we have something called the usage file, which you can model your usage-based resources or just digest the last 30 days average as well. Final point, this is all open source. It's free. There's no reason not to do it. All right, next slide. So then when we've got Infracost running in CI/CD systems, you can have a central visibility here. So what we're looking at basically is every single dot is a pull request to change infrastructure. The 0 cost line is on the left, right? So anything above is going to increase our costs. Anything below is going to reduce our costs. And then you can filter on the PR status, pull request status. So you can say, hey, show me all the pull requests that are open right now so I can take action, or they're merged, meaning it's going to impact the bill now, right? That's important. And then you get guardrails too. So if someone's making a change that is going to increase our bill by more than $10,000, leave a pull request comment in there and say, hey, this change is significant. Let's chat, message Hassan, something like that. And then I saw a couple of people talk about policies. So there's a new one coming. You see the menu option in there. So you can set policies like if anyone tries to launch a GP2 volume, leave this message in the pull request and send Ali a notification, for example. And then next screen. And then finally, we connect all this up to Jira. So if you think of, so we push the Infracost, the pull request comments to Jira. So if you think of one Jira ticket might have four pull requests making infrastructure changes. So it sums those up and sends that there as well. So you can follow your own approvals, your workflows, and then you've got the audit trail in there as well. And I think that's important because now we're all talking the same language, right? We're talking about the Jira ticket that the engineer is using. We're talking about the pull request that the specific engineer is raising and the cost impact of these things. And then all the data is shared between both the engineering workflow and the issue tracking software. So I think that's important. My email's there, Hassan.Hosseini. If anyone wants to see a live demo or if you've got questions, let me know. And JR, if you look there, there's FinOps certification, got that one in as well.
Nice.
All right, that's
you.
it. Cheers.
And I think that was a Stacklet. Umair, are you?
I know. I'm the last one. Thank you, everyone, for holding on. And like most of you, I'm still recovering from re:Invent, so apologies on that. And I'm covering for a colleague as well. So today I'm going to talk about getting engineers to take action. And we all know governance and culture are fundamental to getting engineers to take action. And today we're going to talk about how Stacklet platform helps you. Stacklet is a governance as code platform that engineers and FinOps team love alike. In essence, we help you control usage and optimize cloud costs. We are proactive guardrails and some actionable insights. So your engineers stay on track without hindering any sort of developer velocity. I'll talk about some of the intelligent communication and engagement we help you deliver for your engineering teams. We are also based on CNCF's popular Cloud Custodian project. We are one of the lead maintainers for the project that has thousands of downloads. And this enables our solution to have the deepest resource support and a lot of out-of-the-box actions as well. I know there are a lot of people, probably custodian users as well. If you're a few custodian users here, feel free to put it in the chat window. Next slide, please. Starting off, Stacklet helps you identify owners and cost opportunities. We help you with tagging. You can collaboratively work with DevOps teams, engineering teams to have tagging policies in place. We also provide out-of-the-box tagging policies that help you drive visibility, accountability, and feedback for development teams. So automatically, you can track and allocate resources much better. We automatically not only identify cost opportunities, but through out-of-the-box dashboards and a lot of policies, but these are sorted by value, by remediation effort. We highlight the actions you can take either manually or through the software as well. And all this is tracked over time over a compliance tagline. So how is your team doing? How much money they're saving? And all the kind of good stuff. And you can share these reports with management as well. Something really cool about us is our asset database as well that gives self-service access to cost data to engineering teams, and they can write simple SQL queries to generate their own reports as well. Next slide, please. And once you have these insights, how do you get to solve them, right? This is where our guardrails come in. We give you a simple coding language that even someone like in marketing can understand. So FinOps team, developers, everyone can understand this language, and that's what makes Cloud Custodian so usable as well. The language understandable by everybody. They can share cost policies. Even engineers can contribute back to policies. A lot of people do that. And these policies are automatically deployed. They are available for a variety of use cases, from off hours to data retention to upgrade resourceable. Literally, you can write any policy if you don't want to use our out-of-the-box packs. And what Stacklet allows you to do is also automate the process of policy detection, notification, and mediation. So you don't have to manually download reports, find the developer, Slack them manually, and track them. It automates that process as well. Next slide, please. And if you look at from an engineering standpoint, we are tightly integrated because we have all these resource metadata. We can create Jira tickets for production workloads. We can do Slack notification. We can do a complicated, not complicated, but simpler workflows for different situations. Like for dev machines, you can take certain action. For production machines, you can open Jira tickets. You can periodically review them with your CTO teams. And you can, through this notification, you can also educate developers and really drive that continuous feedback loop and behavior change as well. With that, to learn more about Stacklet, we have a Stacklet FinOps page, and we would love for you to request a demo from there. And we have a new comic book there too. I don't know if you can see it, to learn more about Stacklet and Cloud Custodian.
All right, Umair, nice job bringing us home there at the end. Thank you, everyone.
JR here from the FinOps Foundation. Thank you for watching. Please go to FinOps.org if you want to get plugged into this amazing community. And of course, hit subscribe right here on YouTube to get all the future content. Hope to see you soon.